everyone! Last video we looked at some very important rules we need to follow in algebra. If you haven't watched that video, please watch that first. Okay, now we are going to look at what variables are. Let's say I'm working in a posh restaurant and I receive £10 every hour. But on top of that, I also get tips from customers per hour. So that would be £10 plus the tips that I get from the customers. But also, we know that the value of the tips can change drastically. So the tips is the variable in this case. Okay, now, for example, the tips could have a value of £20. So that might be I get £20 tips in the hour, or the next hour I could get £2. Maybe there was a big sale in the restaurant nearby. Who knows? But notice that the £10 will never ever change because that's not a variable. Our tips is the variable, so it can change every hour. In maths, we always use a shortcut. We can't keep writing 10 plus tips, 10 plus tips, and so on. So we could write it as £10 plus t. We're using the t instead of the tips. Okay? We could also just write it as maybe £10 plus x. We just use different symbols to represent the variable. In algebra, we mostly use just letters, but you can write it as just like £10 plus, I don't know, like triangle maybe? I know that's very rare and you rarely even see that, but it's still a symbol that represents the variable, so no one said it's wrong. So a variable is just a symbol representing a value that can change. So now I hope you get what a variable is. Now that nicely moves us on to a new subject, expression. So what we were looking at so far, the 10 plus t was an expression all along. An expression can be formed from any given word problem. Here we've got a sample question that will explain a little bit more what expressions are. So the question says, Charlotte is X years old. How old will she be in 6 years' time? Part A. Part B, 12 years' time. Part C, when she is twice as old. So, let's get on with it. So for part A, we are looking at 6 years ahead. So what do? Addition. So the expression would be x plus 6. So that's that. For part B, we are looking ahead 12 years ahead. So we do the same thing, but with a different number, x plus 12. Now, for part C, we are looking at when she is twice as old. So we need to times the current age by 2. But we don't know what the current age is. But we know we have to label it as x. So we do x times 2. That looks a little bit confusing, doesn't it? So like I said last video, the multiplication is a default operation. So we could also write it as 2x, which is a much neater and simpler version. Okay, now if we go back to the 10 plus t expression, we talked about how t could change. Now what if we actually put in the value that t changed into? Like for example, if we said for 1 hour we got to £20, and then the next hour we got £2. Now what if we actually put that into the expression? So for example, if this was the first hour, let's just put first hour, that is the second hour. Now for the first hour, guess what the expression would be? So instead of £10 plus t, we just put the £20 in t's place. So that would look like £10 plus 20. Now if we do the same thing for the £2, that would be £10 plus t, but in this t's place, the £2 would go. That would look like £10 plus £2. This is called substitution. Now we could actually calculate it. Substitutions are basically when putting numbers where the symbols or letters are. Now we could actually make out that for the first hour we got, well, we could do 10 plus 20 in our mind. So what's 10 plus 20? 30. So we could actually calculate that we got £30 for the first hour, and now for the second hour we could actually calculate we got, what's 10 plus 2? £12. We could actually calculate we got £12. So this is actually pretty easy. So let's start. For part part 1 of the question, you just put the 4 where it goes. Where does it go? For example, let's write out the equation. Now where does the 4 go? So it says m equals 4, so it goes in m's place. So that would be 4 minus 3, which is the answer for part 1. See, that was pretty easy. So for part 2, we just do the same thing. To make it easy, I'll just write out the equation. I'll do the crossings out and stuff. So we just do 7 minus 3. See? Very easy, isn't it? And now for the last part. M minus 3. Okay, that's 15 minus 3. And that is our final equation. But it says work out the value. That means we also have to calculate these equations, because now it's like proper arithmetic. We know all the numbers. So we do 4 minus 3, which is 1. 7 minus 3, which is 4. Lastly, 15 minus 3, which is 12. So these are our final answer for the questions. So now I hope you get how you can form expressions and how easy they are actually. Now let's look at another question that sums up everything that we have done today. Pause the video if you want to try this on your own. But now, let's look at this together. Part A says, write down an expression for the perimeter of this triangle. This question is interesting because a shape is involved. To calculate perimeters, we add up all the sides of the shape, don't we? So the expression of the perimeter has to add up all the sides of the triangle, which is 4 centimeter, U centimeter, and V centimeter. Let's just write that down. That was easy, wasn't it? Remember, we're adding it all. Now for part B, it says, work out the value of this expression if U equals 7.2 and V equals 6.4. Now for the last part, we had it as an expression because we didn't know what U and V was. But now we are going to have that expression with the U and the V worked out, so we can actually calculate the expression. Well, it's not an expression anymore if you can calculate it, but let's have a look at it. So let's just write the expression down. 4 centimeter plus the U centimeter plus V centimeter. Now they said the U is 7.2 and the V is 6.4. So what is it now? We can put an equal sign at the end now, because now we know all the values, we can work it out. This, because we put an equal sign at the end, after we work it out, is an equation. We'll have a deeper look at equations in the next video. So if we add up 4 plus 7.2 plus 6.4, that gives us 7.6 centimeters. So that was our answer to part B. Now, I hope that was pretty clear, and yeah, I hope you find this video instructive and understood everything. And if you did, please like this video and share. Also, please do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Bye. See you later.